just offered to talk about a bunch of things, but you brought up one really big thing. And I know uh, it's a pretty big issue in the nonprofit space, and that's having thousands and thousands in a city the size of Dallas. It's probably tens of thousands. Places where I've lived, it's even thousands of nonprofits that are all founded by people with great ideas, wanting to do some good, and they're all overlapping like crazy. They're diluting resources, um, and maybe not staying completely true to their calling and mission as well. Um, Tell us, what you're seeing in Dallas, like some of the ways you think uh, people could be doing a better job, some of the reasons why they could be doing a better job, and then also some of the dynamics you've seen that might be changing that.
Yeah. So I do not think that in the civic engagement space, at least, in what I've seen from Dallas and Fort Worth or Tarrant County, that we work well together, that we have like a good system to, come together, collaborate, kind of draw out the map, if you will, of who's doing what, the lanes, defining the lanes of work. And coming from another nonprofit that I led before this, where it was more education focused as opposed to civic engagement focused, I saw a great example of collaboration and what that resulted in for students because of that collaboration among the adults, right, that were leading these different nonprofits and even businesses. Like it was a collaboration between all kinds of, different groups that were businesses, nonprofits, school systems, all coming together to kind of make progress when it came to education. In the civic engagement space, I haven't seen that yet, at least not at the same level. But I should call out, because I wasn't thinking about this a moment ago, but I should call out that March to the Polls, we spearhead with the United Way, actually, two groups. One that's called Dallas Votes and another one that's called Tarrant County Votes. And that is a coalition of nonpartisan, nonprofits, faith-based organizations, including elections departments in many cases, that talk to each other and, pinpoint issues and work together to address those issues. And one of my favorite things that, I don't know if I have it, but that we recently created was like a Texas voter bill of rights. Even me, you'd think, being the director of this like civic engagement voting organization, I learned a ton by looking at this bill of rights, that I was like, oh, I didn't know I had the right to XYZ, and that was because we worked with other people, and all that brain power coming together helped us come up with this tool that's helpful for the voter, who is the ultimate benefactor of the work, right?
Yeah.
So anyway, all that to say that I don't see collaboration happening in like a tight way yet. I think it can improve, but it's happening. It's just not, it needs to be better.
I think what you're illustrating is there's roles to play by those players in the space that aggregate, people like United Way, that
Mm-hmm.
just their model is to bring together. I think I shared with you my experience with a nonprofit that was seeded by a church that was diagnosing just this problem here in North Carolina, where there are thousands of nonprofits, and they were just diluting their impact by not
Exactly.
collaborating, and these problems that they were all correctly diagnosing and trying to fight weren't getting any better. And a lot of people started coming together and going, what if we tried to bring people together? And the kind of lesson I've learned, in the for-profit space is I'm not going to be able to do everything, like physically me and my team do the work to keep my clients happy, but I need to have partners, and even partners that might overlap a little bit into what I do, and to try to forge honest, trusting relationships with those people, You've actually met some of my partners yourself, people that help with websites, kind of on the more technical stuff we do. I think it's my mission to, my lane is having this cool little island of creatives. And then I've found somebody, they do a little creative work too, but I'm not threatened by that. They're highly technical, and we're grateful for each other.
Right.
And I think you probably felt that same amount of like gratitude as you meet some of these other folks in the voting space, right? Where I'm so glad they're in the trenches with me.
Yeah, I want to feel that way, but I still don't know that I have a clear landscape, a clear vision of the landscape. You know, there's still so many blurry lines between who's doing what.
Yeah.
And that I know we met because I was, in the United Way Social Innovation Accelerator program. And I think that that program has helped me be more mission focused and like challenge me to not just like, how do I make my nonprofit better, but like, how the heck are we actually how are we like doing the work of the mission that we set out, and this vision that we have, like, and how do we do it better? Where do we say no and where do we say yes? Where do we have to stop and where do we need to get better? Because I really do want to see a difference. And if our nonprofit is still around, like years and years later, I think the only reason for that is because I don't know, maybe we like continue to grow voter participation, but I think what I want to say or mean to say is that like ideally if we do the work that we intend to do, then we're not needed anymore, right? Like you don't need us to exist as a nonprofit.